AITA for refusing to attend my own birthday dinner? So a little backstory, I, 25F, and my husband Vernon, 36, have been married for 5 years. It was arranged by my grandfather and his uncle. We are not American, so it's common here. Vernon wasn't too thrilled about the marriage, and he made it very clear because he was already in a relationship with Felicity, 30 SF. Long story short, Vernon, his family and Felicity did the most to make my life hell, and my dumbass was stuck on the idea that one day he might change. About 3 years ago, I found out I was pregnant, and I was excited, but he wasn't given. We only had sex a handful of times before that he got it into his head that it wasn't his. The baby had complications, and I had to get a medical abortion. Not once did he or his family come to the hospital, and I guess that opened my eyes and I just stopped caring. I stopped trying. I just stopped caring. Early last year, he suddenly started caring, coming home early, calling me, bringing me flowers. It was quite uncomfortable for me. Then he tells me that he's had a change of heart and wants to try to better our marriage because he's developed feelings for me. It's all fishy to me, honestly. I wouldn't trust this man as far as I can throw him. He's been doing these little things, and I just can't shake that there's a joke coming at my expense. Now on to the story. It was my birthday last weekend, and Vernon told me his family was hosting me a birthday dinner. I told him I wasn't comfortable with that, and the last time I was at his parents', they literally told me I was my baby's. Complications were my fault, and kicked me out, cause Felicity was uncomfortable, not to mention that they haven't apologized. Just started acting friendly. I kept telling him no, and he kept insisting. He let it go, and I assumed that was that. I made plans and went out with my mom and cousins, and he starts calling me asking me where I am. I tell him, and he tells me that he's waiting for me. What? Long story short, his family is mad that I skipped because they apparently wanted to apologize so that we could move forward, and Vernon keeps saying he understands why I did it, but has been apologizing for everything and nothing. Last night, Felicity called to cuss me out because they've left her high and dry, and Vernon wants nothing to do with her, so maybe they did want to apologize. I thought I was in the right, but now even my cousins are telling me I was wrong for skipping. Now I'm doubting myself. Am I the asshole? Update 1. Some more info on my family because I saw repeating questions in the comments. My family didn't know about most of what was going on. I chose to not tell them, but they still found out were and are still willing to handle the effects of me leaving. But I can't let them do that. Everyone is happy, and this would disrupt their lives greatly. I can't bring myself to that, especially to my little nieces. A few hours after I made the post, I decided to have a talk with Vernon after he came home from work. It went somewhat okay. I followed some advice in the comments about starting over on my terms. I asked him questions I needed answers to, and he gave me answers. I wasn't completely satisfied, but it's a start. I told him I would give our marriage a chance, but he had to know that he was completely done with Felicity and would be completely on board with this. I told him to stop with the love bombing because it was making me uncomfortable. I told him I would absolutely not be having kids in the near future. I told him I was in no way ready to be his wife, and we would continue with our separate rooms. Surprisingly, he was on board with all of this, and said that he wasn't a boy anymore, and that he was getting older, and he needed to sort himself out and make things right. I asked him if he only had a change of heart, because he wanted me to take care of him in his old age, and he said no. He said he realized that Felicity isn't what he's always wanted, and started seeing her manipulate toxic ways. His words, he said he was willing to put the house in only my name. It's 40% mine, entirely, as a way of showing that he is all in, and would mess up of, I give us a second chance. He said he was willing to give me as much space as I need. He said he'll have a word with his family about me needing time and space and taking baby steps. Honestly, don't know where this will go at this point. I don't know the direction in which we are headed, but am willing to try so I can have a free conscience. I've started making a backup plan to leave, but that's in the worst case scenario. Update 2. Hey everyone. So a few things happened that I thought y'all needed to know. First off, I'd like to thank everyone for your care and support. I never thought I'd cry after reading words, but you have no idea how much courage your kind words have given me. I told Vernon to go through with the transferring of the house into my name, and he did. I guess he knew he would be getting more money. So now I own the house. Nobody was telling me anything about the 180 change, so I decided to go to Felicity. I know it was stupid. She was the only one who was willing to give me any information since she's spiteful, and I think I got what I needed. It's not much, but it's enough to cement my decision. Turns out, Felicity had her womb removed when she was younger, so she can't give Vernon children. The whole family found out and turned against her. And Uncle has been speaking of retiring, and Vernon has been at war with Uncle's sons to either take over the business or become one of the decision makers, and a child would guarantee that he would give a large sum of the company shares that would be in his name and the child's, and since Felicity couldn't give him a child, I was the solution. Felicity told me as much as she knew, and so I went to one of Vernon's cousins. I confronted him about what Felicity said, and after a heated back and forth, he finally confirmed everything. I don't know why, but that hurt. Even though I knew it was too good to be true, I still held on to hope that maybe I was wrong. After conversation, I decided to play along until I could get out. He completely cut of Felicity, and it's scary just how much he's acting like she never existed. I put in a transfer to a city 12 hours away from here. My head teacher knows my situation and swore not to tell the. I brought up moving to my family, and majority of them said I'd be selfish if I did that, and their whole lives are here and all that, but honestly I feel I should put myself first. I told them it was just a thought and that I would never do that. My mom and brother have been my biggest support system, and I'm taking them with me. My cousins is moving with my little nieces to his wife's city. So that's that. I found a house where my mom, brother, 2 cousins and I will stay. I listed this house for sale on a private auction page. This will cause a big blowout, but I won't be here, so LOL. I live this place in about 40 days, and the most tiring thing is to get my affairs in order without rising suspicion. I refused to be intimate with Vernon and told him I wasn't ready. He told me we'll work on my time, but I see him getting more and more frustrated each day, even though I'm scared for myself and my family on what they will do when they find out I've decided to leave and am not changing my mind. I'm still young, and I honestly don't want to end up like my mother, in a loveless marriage with a cheating alcoholic. I took words of internet strangers for me to realize that, and I'm so grateful. I'm sorry if this is all over the place.